So you want to invest in cars, is it worth it? Can you beat the stock market? And if you're not a car dealer, how do you make money? How do all the rich people have all these massive car collections and still maintain the wealth and not get bled dry? In this video, I'll go through my 5 criteria for searching for investment cars and placing them in collections. Cool. I'm going to go through my 5 criteria, and the first 1 and 2 being age and depreciation cycle. And these matter a lot for the following reasons. New cars have become lackluster. They're a PCP payment plan. They have to follow different European regulations in regards to emissions, as when these guys were about, in the case of the R53 and the E46, things were different. There were still European standards for emissions, but they were a lot looser than they are now. These affect everything. So the age will naturally dictate the depreciation cycle. In the depreciation cycle, we have to include inflation, because if we're looking for a car as an investment, then your money in your bank or in a car has to matter. So each year we know inflation's at this at the moment with the Bank of England. And each year your cars are either depreciating or appreciating. So the depreciation cycle on new cars is massive. We all know that new cars generally take about a 40% hit in the first 3 years. So we're looking for cars what have been through the depreciation cycle. So the R53 when new was around £17,000, but this R53 when new was about £36,000. And when you do the maths and adjust for inflation to today's money, this was a big number. It's probably around between £18,000 and £20,000 in value. What makes it valuable? So we come on to that right now. Criteria 3 and 4, heritage and numbers, and these matter. AMG, Alpina, John Cooper Works, and various other tuning houses were bought in via certain brands, like AMG now is Mercedes owned. John Cooper Works got bought by BMW in 2006, and if you buy an Alpina BMW, it'll come with a BMW warranty as well. So these matter, heritage matters. Not every car is going to be worth anything. Today's electric cars have no heritage. The hybrids have no heritage. This is why you see Toyota have 2 branches to their business model. You'll see the performance cars, as you see with the GI Yaris and the Supras.
Supra in the bank!
Dude, is this a Supra?
Wow! Is that a Supra?
Dude, is it a... And the Priuses and the hydrogen cars. There are 2 markets when it comes to buying cars. There's the consumer and then there's the petrol head. If you look at Porsche, they've brought everything in-house with the GT program. So you've got the GT3s all the way through the GT2 and the special edition heritage ones, what people go crazy for. And this brings me on to numbers. Numbers are very important. So in the case of the R53 Jcw, there's probably 20,000 Jcws worldwide, but not all of them are the same. And it's the same with Ferrari. A lot of the GT brands, that they'll either do a limited production or they'll do a limited edition, and there is a difference. It's the limited edition, there's only ever going to be, say, 2,000 cars like the GP1. And limited numbers means the manufacturer at some point will just stop production, and that's it. So this is one reason why you see a lot of Ferraris being worth big money from the 90s, and some of the Ferraris from the early 2000s what got mass produced, like the F430 and the 360. The John Cooper Works were mass produced, but they have their own subsections. Looking at the 225 cars, there were about 30 to 50 of these cars produced. This was going to be the next John Cooper Works. It was going to be the 225 before BMW bought them out. Or we've got a different kind of rarity, the John Cooper Works garages cars. That come with their own specification, their own bits where people are chasing. They're chasing the number plate, they're chasing specification, probably the highest spec car in existence at the minute. Or you're looking at something a little different and not a lot of people look at. Production numbers, registration numbers. There is a website I'll put right here what will tell you all this. Now this is a factory logbook John Cooper Works. There is no difference between spec, it's just that this one came on the logbook as a Cooper S Jcw. Registered in 2005 on a 55 in Q4, there is 73 of these cars in existence. Another 320 were registered in Q4 2006. And this is where we get into the nitty gritty, and this is what creates the investment, its rarity. But not always having a rare car means value. We want desirability in the equation as well. So desirability, do people want to buy these cars? If they do, then they're going to go up. Criteria, and this is the last one, it is number 5, and it is potential gains, and this is a mixture with spec, because we're looking at cars on the lower end of the market with the R53, and the parts are worth a lot, in which cases the parts are worth more than the vehicles. Now this vehicle, we've just taken a reservation fee on it, and it's sold for £14,000. In last year and the year before, lower spec cars with similar mileage sold for more money. So we're looking at the right time to buy. So profitability is a massive one. When we are looking at stuff like this, we're not looking at 1,500 quid cars. The money what you're going to make on £1,500 cars, it's not worth it. The car has to be worth something in the first place. And it's all relevant to how much money you're making. If you spend £100,000, you're going to make a lot more money than you're spending £10,000. One of the rules of the motor trade is spec sells cars, and it's same in the collecting car world. Higher spec vehicles are always going to be worth more and more desirable than a lower spec vehicle. In the case of GR04, what we've got here, it's spec to the 9s. It's got super rare leather dash, leather down tubes and leather cup holders. Who's spec leather cup holders? Who's doing that? Why would you want it? And even down to the craziness of the inserts in these seats. We've recently sold a set of these for £3,250, and that doesn't include the seat. Now we've identified the potential gains and gone through spec, is it worth it? Now this one is a tricky one, and I can't answer this for you. So one thing what you're going to have to look at is, where do I stand financially? Is there capital gains to look at? Am I going to get stung with an inheritance tax? And if I don't want to get stung with an inheritance tax, what loopholes can I find in my tax system to help me? As many wealthy people exploit these loopholes to protect their wealth every day of the year. Is my money safe in that vehicle, and is it beating inflation? So as we all know, we sit £10,000 in the bank, and the rate of inflation each year slowly decays, or in this case compounding inflation decays the buying power of our £10,000 in the bank. Now with vehicles, the idea behind it is to protect against inflation and then beat inflation, and this is the prime purpose of any investment. But with any investment, there is potential drawbacks and risks. In the world of vehicles and putting your money in vehicles, the risks are as follows. We have to insure our investment. We can't have one day it just spontaneously combusting, or someone steals it and then we've got nothing left. So we've got to consider the cost of insurance. And this is where we look at potentially modifications or the heritage of the vehicle, like that factory Jcw. Another drawback of this is storage. It's not easy to store such big items. It's not like a watch where you can just stash it in your drawer. We've got to find the correct storage for vehicles. They can't be left outside at this age. We need to protect them from rust and other elements, what's going to degrade the quality of it. Finally, the big one, maintenance. Now a lot of people just ignore this one and just let their cars sitting and rotting, and like there's a big Facebook group, and I'll put the link down, sitting on the drive or sitting rotting on the drive. And I see cars what I'd love to have, but then you realise they need a full restoration, and before you know it, your investment actually costs you £80,000 just to get it back on the road. Once we've got all these factors together, we have to consider the return on investment. Now obviously for a petrol head, owning a classic car or a vehicle what potentially might make you money is the dream. And I mean it's the dream, it's what everyone wants to do. Everyone wants to be a classic car dealer, throwing millions around in auctions like they're crazy. But most people are not, and it's very rare when you find someone what is. So the return on investment has to be worth it. Is your money safe in this item? Is it going to make you money? Are you going to get rich from it? Probably not, but are you going to be able to enjoy it? It's a petrol head's dream to be able to keep making money on each car you buy and buy a better car after you sell it. Point being is I get many customers what spend £1,500 on an R53 to then go and spend 10 grand on the R53 fixing it to then sell it for 5 grand. So why not buy yourself a good car in the first place, a car what you're not going to lose money on, and a car what is appreciating instead of depreciating. Because believe you me, I love buying those cars what's just had 10 grand spent on them for 5 grand. I love it. If you want to carry on doing that, fantastic, but place your money in somewhere where it's not going to take much of a hit, then look at those criteria when you decide to purchase your next classic car. So investing in cars, is it worth it? Well, it is if you don't sit on it until you die, because then when it becomes someone else's problem, they've got to pay an inheritance tax on that vehicle. There's ways around it, but I suggest that you sell your vehicles while you're still about and sell your collections and don't pay the HMRC all that money in the inheritance tax. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. We are so close to our target of 1,000 subscribers and I'm begging you, please do it. So the short answer is yes. The long answer is long and complicated. Please pick wisely. Not all these cars are going to do you very well, but some of them will do you very well. Every day when I speak to peers or people in the train, like, why do you sell 20-year-old cars? Is it not just full of headaches? And I go, well, no, I don't want to sell cars on finance, and I don't want to sell cars that are constantly losing people money and putting them in bad financial positions. So I sell 20-year-old minis, as daft as that sound, but I really enjoy the chase, I enjoy the hunt for it. As a petrol head, I like the heritage behind it, so they've always got a personal value to myself. In regards to monetary terms, there is also a value to monetary terms. So from a private person, private point of view, can you make money on cars? Yes, but you have to be careful with it. Most dealers will run away from the type of cars what we retail because they think they're complete headaches. But if you're looking for the correct cars and the correct criteria and the correct specs, you can make it into a successful business, and it turns a hobby into your living, and that's what we all want to do. We actually want to enjoy our work, and this is what I do for a daily living. I'm a big fan of the R53 and the E46 M3 as potential Sunday drivers what's going to earn you money. But here's one what you may not know of. It is the Gen 1 Cayman manual cars. They are my next pick for values creeping up and creeping up, because what do they make like that these days? Nothing.